Hello, my dear students. Welcome to the fourth and the last week of the national level workshop of robotics. All right. So, guys, are you excited for the last week and the seventh session of our Arduino and robotics workshop? So today's topic will be prompt engineering, and what the prompt engineering basically is. It's about generating code using AI tools, right? So in today's session, we will be exploring the AI tools, how we can use the AI tools efficiently in order to get perfect code which we require as per our need in our project, right? So let's move into our session. So if we move forward, so what will be our today's roadmap? So our roadmap will be looking like first, we will be learning about the basics of prompt engineering. So prompt engineering is basically a part of AI where we learn how to utilize the AI tools properly in order to get the maximum output from a AI, right? So it can be Gemini, ChatGPT, or whatever AI you use in your daily life, right? So if we talk about basics, so the first we will be learning uh, how to write with precise prompts for simple outputs, right? For example, like blinking a LED. So how we can write a precise prompt so that our chat GPT, Gemini, whatever AI which we are using will give us the proper output of it. All right. All right. The next thing which we'll be learning is how to generate logic for ultrasonic or LDR sensor, like whatever we have talked about in our previous session, how to interface LED or ultrasonic sensor. So then we can talk about the state machines. So how we can include the complex control like traffic light system or how to build a traffic light system by interfacing with push button. Right? So whatever we have did so far, now you it's maybe sounds like pretty easy for you because you have already have the knowledge how to write those code by yourself. But try to imagine that what if this session was the first session? Just imagine it. What will be the scenario? What will be the difference? So that time you will be like, oh, it's so easy. I will just type some prompts, and according to my prompt, the AI will generate the code and I can build my own project. But problem is, the AI may have generated the code, but you are having zero knowledge how that code works. But right now, you are having the knowledge, you are having the concepts clear in your mind that how these things are working. This line of code means what, right? So even if you now generate your codes using ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever AI tool you used, right? But still you will be knowing how this code has been generated, how this code can work, right? So you will be knowing that how this code is working. Got it? So then I will give you challenge, right? So as you can see, like code a smart night light purely through prompt. How, what does it mean? We will discuss it later. So now let's move forward and yeah. So today's session gonna be super simple because you are having all the knowledge, and that's why I kept the sessions, the last two sessions, in recorded form, so that you can get it. You can like as per your time, you can watch it. But definitely, these are important. We have included some concepts from prompt engineering, which are gonna not only helpful for your robotics purpose, but it will be helpful throughout your journey of using AI tools. Right? So let's talk about prompt. So what is prompt? So prompt are basically instructions which you give to the AI tools, and as per your instruction, AI tool generates the output. Okay, so this is what prompt means, simple language. I hope you got it, right? Now, prompt means what? For example, if you want to tell your friend, hey, Pratik, go and bring some food for me from the canteen, right? So you have given one instruction to Pratik or any of your friend, right? Rahul, Pratik, or whoever is your friend. So you told your friend that, hey, Rahul or Pratik, go and bring some food for me. So you have given an instruction, but is it complete instruction, right? No. Why? Because you haven't specified which type of food or which food you want to eat. Whether you want to eat some heavy food like biryani, fried rice, or something like that, or you just need some snacks. So you need to be specific about what you want. So that's what means that you have to be specific when you are prompting, when you are giving the instruction to the AI tools in order to generate the code. Now, an LLM or the large language model or like ChatGPT, Gemini, right? Claude AI. So those kind of like LLMs needs detailed to write a code. Okay. So if you want to make or create a working code using ChatGPT or Gemini, you need to prompt properly. So I'm having two example, right? So you can see the example of a bad prompt, right? So what is bad prompt? Bad prompt means it will not work properly, or whatever code it will give you will be not specified to your application. Okay? It might be generating some codes which it will be getting from the internet, or it will be having in its training database. So it will be giving you as per the choice of your AI model, right? For example, if you prompt make the light blink, right? So what does it mean? Okay. So did you specify which pin, right? How fast, right? What will be the delay between the blinking, or using delay or millis, right? Millisecond delay or microsecond delay. What delay? You haven't specified anything, so it can generate like anything as per the model's choice, right? But you have to be application specific. You want your project to be done the way you want, not the way AI wants. Right? For that reason, you have to write a proper code or good prompt. And the good prompt example is write an Arduino sketch to blink an LED connected to digital pin 13. Right? Turn it on for 100 milliseconds, sorry, 1000 milliseconds, and turn off for 500 milliseconds. Okay, using the delay function. Got it? I hope you understood. What is the difference between a bad prompt and a good prompt, right? So if that's clear, let's move forward. Let's talk about the anatomy of prompt engineering. Now here comes a very, very important concept. Okay. So here, very important concept comes into the place. Okay. So that is known as CPF method. Okay. So what is the CPF method? So let me just give you a glimpse of it. What does it means actually? So CPF. So in prompt engineering, we are having few methods through which we can communicate with the AI model in a structured, in a more formal, or in a way where we can utilize the maximum potential of the AI tool. Okay, so this is the basic and one of the popular method which everyone can follow in order to working with ChatGPT or Gemini or Perplexity, whichever tool you are comfortable with. Right? So the full form of it is context. Okay. So C means context, P means persona, okay, P means persona. Don't pronounce it as persona, it's persona, right? Not persona. So, and then we are having format. So, if you are familiar with prompt engineering, you may have encountered this words or this term, right? So, right, so this is CPF, context, persona, and format. Right. Now, what does it mean? So, it's basically means that whenever you are giving an instruction, you should explain the scenario, right? What you want. The AI is not an emotional being. It can't read your emotions just like human, right? So if you told your mom, please bring some food for me. So your mom is having emotions. She's having emotional attachment with you. She knows that what you want at what time. But an AI is not having emotions, can't read the emotions. So we have to explain our emotions in order to get the proper output. I think all of you have experienced that you have something in your mind, you ask ChatGPT for that or any of the AI tool, but it's not gives you that result which you want, right? So that's happened because we, as an emotional being, we don't understand this thing that in order to communicate with computerized, intelligence, we must not rely on our emotions. We must explain ourselves, right? Just the way any girlfriend need to explain to their boyfriend, otherwise they can't know what's happening, why they are upset, right? So you have to explain to the ChatGPT AI first. And this is the popular method, CPF, context, persona, and formatting. What are these things? Let me give you a brief example or brief explanation. So context mean is basically what is thing which you want to build, which you want to generate, which you want to create. So that's the context. For example, I want to build a robot which can walk forward, backward, sideward, and can jump. This is the context. This is the context. What about the persona? So persona means like what point of view want output to be. For example, if uh, I want to make a robot which can walk, which can jump, right? And I will say create a roadmap or code or all the connections report like a robotics engineer, right? So like a robotics engineer, it's called the persona, like which personality you want your AI tool to be in while giving the output, right? Next, if we talk about format, so the format is basically how you want your final output to be in. If you want it to be in a tabular format, so if you will say that create a list of you know components I require for my project in a table. Okay, so that is called the format. Okay, so I hope you are having a little bit clarity over the CPF method of prompting. Right? Just you have to give a context, persona, format. All right, and that's how you are done. Right? Now let's here I'm having one example. Okay, so I have used the CPF and I will just show you with the example. So the context is reading a distance sensor. Okay, so the first thing is context, and this is my context. Now my example. Now I will set a persona, and I will say the role act as an Arduino expert. So this is my role or persona. Then I will say I will clear a goal that write a code to read distance from an HCSR04 ultrasonic sensor. This comes under the context. Right? So this comes under context. This is my persona, right? Right. So it's not like you have to always go through first persona as first context, then persona, then format. You can like interchange them. You can just first you can write format like create a list of items and then you can give the context and then the persona. You can first give like act like a robotics engineer and write the code for me. So it's up to you which format you want to follow. Right. Just you have to make sure you are using this context, persona, and format in your every prompt from this day. All right. Now, the constraint. Now, this also comes under the context, right? The details. The more details you put into the instruction, it is highly probable that your output will be favorable to your desires, right? Now, if we talk about constraints, I have given a trigger pin is 9, echo pin is 10. Use the pulse in function to measure the duration and print the distance in centimeter. Right. So the code which we did in our previous class, I've taken that particular simple example here. And in the format, I said that provide only the setup and the loop functions. Okay. So here I have given the format as only provide the code for the setup and the loop functions. All right. Got it? So it's about the anatomy of prompting or CPF method of prompting, where we use the context, persona, and format. Right? Got it, guys? I hope it's pretty much clear. And it's super busy. I'm gonna show you hands-on, so no need to worry about it. All right. So if I go to the next. So next we are having two other methods of prompting, and I want you guys to first know about this method and then we will apply it so that we can have a better understanding over these concepts, right? So the next technique is logic flow, right? Now this is about zero sort and chain of thought method, right? So if you tell me like determine how smart the logic is, like let's look at an LDR sensor, right? Light dependent sensor. So in a zero sort method, what does it mean? It's about giving the direct instructions. Okay. Like I'm having an example. Read the analog value from an LDR on pin number A0 and print it. It's a very simple, right? It's a very simple code and a very simple prompt and it's zero sort. Why? Because I have just written the instruction, direct instruction. But before going to chain of thoughts, there is another method which called fusion. Like just a minute, guys. Let me just okay. Now let me change the color. Yeah, it's white, right? So there is another thing which called fusion. Right? So what is few shot? Few shot means here I have used direct instruction, but in few shot I will give examples, right? With examples. I will give the instruction, but with examples. So with examples. Like I will say that read the analog value from a LDR on pin A0 and print it, right? This is the simplest version. Then I will give a few examples. Like if the LDR, like if I want to print it, right? I want to print it, right? So how I want to print it? I will say, I will give examples, right? So I will write some examples. Right? For example, example one. Okay. So for example, my example one will be, it will be like uh, I will be checking the light intensity, right? So it will first give me 100 value, right? As it is from 0 to 1023 value, right? And comma, it will say what is the intensity. It will also show me the intensity. So for example, if uh, the resistance is high, means our light intensity is high. First it's high. And example 2, I will write that if it's like 105, just 105, so my light intensity is low. Right? So what will happen? It will give me a code such that in my code's output, the output will be coming like this. Okay. So this is about few shot. So we have talked about zero shot, where we will give just direct instruction. And in a few short, we will give, uh, some examples with the instructions, right? So that is about few short. If you talk about chain of thoughts, right? So these are very, big topics. I have compressed them for our need. Whatever we need for our robotics session or building our project in robotics, I have taken those concepts, right? Now, this concept, which known as chain of thoughts, what do you mean by chain of thoughts? Right? So, chain of thoughts is basically step by step logic. Okay. So it will be a step by step logic. First do this, then do this, then do this. Okay. So it will do everything in a step by step method, the way which our human brain works, right? We first do something, we start doing something, then we, understand what is this and those things. Is it safe or not? Then we again step by step use our logic, our previous knowledge, and then we decide to do something. That is called chain of thought, right? So here I'm having one prompt for the same thing. We need to turn on a light when it's get darker. So here you can see the words. First, explain how to read LDR. Then second, define a threshold like 500, giving an example. Third, write the if else logic to switch the LED. What do you understand from this? Okay. What do you understand by this? So basically, my project is about check whether right now dark or it's having light. So if it's darker outside, LED should turn on, right? So that's the thing which I want to build. So using the chain of thoughts, I have prompted such that first it will understand that okay, this is the instruction. We need to turn on a LED, a light when it's get darker, right? Then first it will explain you how to read the LDR. Okay. And the second, it will define a threshold like 50 as threshold. And once the light intensity decrease uh, more than 50, less than 500, then my LED should turn on, and it will be in the third, like write if else logic to switch the LED, and it will turn on the LED if the light intensity is less than 500. Okay, I know it's looking like pretty boring, pretty hard to understand stuff. Don't worry. Right now, I'm gonna show you everything with hands-on, okay, using Gemini. And as very recently, I have become Gemini certified educator. So I will be using Gemini only to help you out, to make you understand how to prompt properly using Gemini, right? So you will be learning those things with certified Gemini educator. Okay, so you are in the safe hand. Now let's move into our Gemini. So yeah, okay. Let's move into our Gemini and let's talk about how these things work. Okay. All right, guys. Now, as we are right now in our Gemini, so I'm using Gemini AI as my tool, rather ChatGPT or going to Perplexity. So it's up to you, whichever AI tool you want to use. But for me, I guess Gemini is better in terms of generating, you know, structured codes and those things. So let's move into it and let's first talk about the context persona format, like CPF structured method. So in that, let's take an example. First, we have to set a context, right? So for say, I will write the code for a simple uh, like LED interfacing with the push button in Arduino, right? Right. So such that when the user press once, it turns on, and when again press the button, it turns off, right? So this is the context where I have written that uh, write the code for a simple LED interfacing with a push button in Arduino such that when the user press once it turns on, and when press again, right, the button, the LED turns off, right? Now let's set the person. So you will say like you are you know you are a robotics or electronics expert, right? And uh, write the code easy to understand and implement, right? Now, for the format, I will say, uh, like, I will say, the output code must contain comments to make the code more understandable, right? So I have written this prompt where I have written like, so see, it might be looking very long, prompt for a simple code, but in the place of this, you can write any code, right? For if you want to build a automatic robot, right, which can clean your home automatically. You just write that thing. I want to build a robot which will be cleaning my home, right? So write the codes for me, right? So it might be complex, but will help you. Right? And let's check it. What's our output is? Okay. See. So it's give me the guide. Okay. Just like I have set the persona, right? So I have set the persona that you are a robotics electronics expert, right? So as per that persona, he is explaining me everything. Components and wiring, what are the components I'm needed? I need a resistance, LED, push button, resistance, breadboard, jumper wires, and then here's my code. And as I have mentioned, the code must contain the comments. You can see in this comment, it's having the comments, right? Now, another concept I want you guys to learn is that it's possible that the AI doesn't give you the exact result which you want in the first go. So what you have to do is you have to give the follow-up. For example, here you can see this code is looking super messy, right? So I will write it just like rewrite the code clearly without unnecessary comments. All right, let's see. Okay, fine. Here you can see this code doesn't have any unnecessary, comments. It has just the important comments, like set the button pin into input. Okay, so it's external pull-up which they have used. You can see just simple comments and the codes. Okay, so this is our code where it will be printing, right? Like whether it's on, turn on, or turn off, right? So it's a very good code, very effective code, right? As you can see, they have used constant int button pin, right? So yes, guys, so this is how the CPF works, right? So where we will be, using the context persona and along with what? Along with our format, right? So this is the implementation for our purpose, robotics, coding, how to get the Arduino codings, right? But this thing you can use while chatting with ChatGPT or Gemini with your own stuff, right? If you're working on any project or any of the things like normal discussion, you can use the CPF method. It's a very commonly used method, right? Maybe sometimes you have used this subconsciously, right? All right, guys. Now, as we are having the idea about CPF or context persona and format, now let's discuss about another method that is zero prompting, zero shot, and another is few shot, as we have discussed in our PPT, right? Now, what is zero shot? Zero shot prompting. So it's about knowledgeable recall where we are not uh, really giving a proper context or we are not really giving persona, but still it works, right? So it works on basically the knowledge recall. So whatever knowledge our AI is having, it recalls that, and as per its knowledge, it's trying to figure out which is the favorable, most favorable outcome it can provide to you, right? So this is the simplest way of interacting. So that's what the normal new people or zero level people uh, use to talk with a AI tool, right? So you just say, okay, make a PPT for me, or just make a timetable for me, okay? And you give very less detail. You don't give any persona. You don't give any format, not proper context, right? For example, for the sake of our robotics, a zero sort prompting example can be like, write the two, you know, necessary lines of Arduino code to set up digital pin 9 as an output and turn on LED connected to it on. Okay. See, here, this is a zero sort where I haven't given proper context. I have just written write the two necessary lines of Arduino code to set up digital pin 9 as an output and turn on LED connected to it on. Right. Let's see what is our output. So see, it's just give me this output, right? C++. Okay, setup. That's it. The complete snippet, right? What it have given me, right? Now, okay, this has given me this detailed. Why? Because we have used this conversation. We have started this conversation by setting up the persona, right? Now, what I will do is I will just set a new chat. Now, I will just write this prompt. Let's see. See, it's just given me directly the code, right? This is the code they have given me with the example. Now, what I will do is I will use a few, short prompting. So see, I have just written right two necessary lines of Arduino code. So it will give the codes. These codes are basically the codes with which the Gemini has been trained with, right? So this code is not what I really want, but this is the code which Gemini want me to show, right? But I want something such that uh, it will work the way I want. So I will give a pattern or examples, and as per those examples, Gemini will give me out. All right, guys. Now, as we have done with our CPF zero shot, now let's talk about few shot. Okay, so few shot is basically, uh, you know, where we give the AI some example. And as per the previous example, we want to give us the output, right? Not the way the Gemini want us to see the output as we have seen in the zero shot, right? So in the zero shot, we don't set any, boundaries or the way we want the output. So it will just show us what the Gemini wants to show it to us, right? All right, guys. So now let's talk about few shot. So now we have covered the zero shot and CPF. Now in zero shot, we have seen that we are not giving a proper context, and the Gemini or the AI tool which we will be using gonna show us those output using which the Gemini has been trained for, right? So it basically shows us what the AI want to show, right? It's not something which the user want to see. So for that reason, we use few shot where we give the examples, and those examples are called shots, right? So for example, if I give it will be just like, say, we are having Arduino, right? So we don't need to write any context, right? We can directly give the shots. Like I will write input, make an LED stay on for 3 seconds, right? And I want my output to be delay 3000, right? Now I will give another shot. Okay, so few shot means you have to give at least two examples. And I will say pause the code until the ultrasonic sensor is ready, right? So 50 microsecond, right? All right. Now the output will be delay in microseconds, Okay. Now I have given two examples, and as you can see, if my input is make an LED stay on for 3 seconds, the output will be delay 3000, right? And if my input is pause the code until the ultrasonic sensor is ready for 50 millisecond, it will write the out, it will give me the output of delay microseconds. So in the previous one, we have seen that whenever we are writing some prompt, it generates some extra text by explaining those things and all. Now I will show you that it will not generate any extra stuff. Okay. So again, now this is the final one, the final task which I want it to do. So I will write make the yellow, you know, traffic light stay on for 1.5 seconds, right? And I want the output. Let's see. Can you see? Have you observed something? This time, Gemini haven't generate any extra text like it did in the previous ones. Here you can see whenever I have given the prompt, it's written so many stuff like this one, and it has generated something, and like I haven't specified anything, it's just generated by itself and it's shown to me, right? Now, similarly, in our like here, where we have used the persona, uh, context and format, it's also generate a lot of them, which are really unnecessary. But in this chat, where I have used few short methods, where I have given the examples, like first input is make an LED stay for 3 seconds. This is the output. Then second example I have given that if my input is this will be the output. So tell me, what is the output? What will be the output if this is my input? So it show me this. That is delay 1500. Got it, guys? Isn't it amazing? I know it seems like unnecessary stuff. Why we are learning these things? But definitely, whenever you will be working on your real project, you need to take the help of Gemini or any of the AI tools, right? On that time, you will be find yourself completely lost because if you are completely relying on ChatGPT for generating your codes, uh, there will be a time when a error will suddenly pop up, and no matter what you are doing, the Gemini or the AI tool is not able to fix that. That time you have to use this type of methods. Okay. So yeah, that is about our few shot. All right, guys. Now, as we have talked about our first thing, that is CPF. Then we have talked about zero shot and few shot. Now let's talk about chain of thoughts. So what is chain of thoughts? The chain of thoughts is basically we force the AI to think. All right. So we force them to don't jump to the conclusion at first. Try to think. Okay. So it's just like when we were a child, our parents used to told us to solve the maths problem step by step, right? It's similar to that concept, and using chain of thought method, we force our AI model to do all the execution step by step by step. It will require more time, but it will increase the accuracy a lot. So it's a very important uh, it's the application of this particular method is when we are solving some mathematical problems using ChatGPT or Gemini. Okay, so if it does fast, if it's completes the execution fast, it may give you a false result, right? For that reason, while solving mathematical problem, you must always use the chain of thought method. Although, for our case in robotics, we have to use the chain of thought method in order to troubleshoot if any problem arises while creating our AI model, or sorry, our generating our code. Okay, so while generating our code for our model, we need to use this particular method. For example, if I take the example that I am having, I have, sorry, I have built one robotics, sorry, I have built one Arduino project where I have interfaced one push button to control three LED of traffic signal. Okay, so this is the code which we did in our previous sessions. So now at what I will do is, so now this is our context. Now what I will do is I will force the AI to, you know, think what is the problem. So for example, our problem is such that the Arduinos is turned on, but whenever we, even if we click the push button, nothing happens. Any of the like, no, any of the light, yellow, green, red, nothing is turning on. So what can be the possible way to troubleshoot it or to find where is the problem? So I will say like symptoms, like what are the symptoms I'm facing. So the Arduino is powered on, right? But none of the three traffic lights, right? So ever, turn on, and the push button also does nothing when pressed, right? The serial monitor is displaying the expected initialization message. So what's happening here is I'm having the symptoms, right? So the Arduino is powered on, but none of the three traffic lights are ever turned on. Okay, red, yellow, green, nothing is turning on. The push button is also does nothing when pressed, right? And the serial monitor, but the serial monitor where it's printing the state and everything. So it's showing the expected message, right? So what is the problem, right? Now, the model internally process the hidden, which is hidden from the user, as you can see here, right? So it's thinking, and now, see, here it gives you a structured troubleshooting guide. Okay, so here it shows you our output, right? But you have seen that it took far more time than giving a normal output, right? It's processed the things. Uh, Now you can see it gives you a very detailed way to troubleshoot this. First, check the LED wear, right? Polarity check, okay, whether long, short, and those things, resistance. So each and everything it's troubleshoots, right? From the first, starting with polarity check whether the LED's pins has been correctly placed or not, then the resistor whether you have interfaced the resistor or not, see whether it is 10 kilo ohm resistance or not, or the 5 volt power supply is working perfectly or not, check the ground pins, then all the review the code pin configuration whether you have configured. So it's given you a detailed troubleshooting uh code, right? So you can use it in order to troubleshoot your code, whether your code is correct or not. If you're facing any error, how can you troubleshoot? So you can use the chain of thoughts method. All right. So this is how I guess it's clear to you all about all the three concepts, right? So all the three concepts, what are those concepts? So we were having our concepts. First is our CPF, right? So after CPF, we talk about the zero sort, how the zero sorts work, and then we talk about few short by giving few example, and then we want the AI to give us the output as per the examples which we have given. Then the chain of thoughts where we forced our, you know, AI model think and then give the output, right? Now let's talk about one case study, right? So you guys have did this activity, right? Where you have created your first signal controlling traffic signal controller, where using just a push button, you can control the traffic signal, right? So the challenge is we need three LED system, right? Red, yellow, green. That changes automatically, but immediately turns the red when a pedestrian button is pressed. Okay. So let me tell you what is happening here. So you have did this particular activity where you have interface one button in order to change the state of this LED. Now I want to add another button, okay, using which using which this will be our pedestrian button, and this is working fine, okay, but this is for the vehicles, right? So this is for the vehicles, and whenever someone is controlling from the control room, it's controlling the traffic light. But the moment a pedestrian will be in the zebra crossing, so for say this is our one end of the road, this is our another end of the road, and here I'm having a pedestrian button. Okay, this is our pedestrian button, and our cars are going like this. This is our signal. Okay, this is our signal. So it has been controlled by a controller or automatic timer. Okay. So, but what if any pedestrian or person came and he sees the traffic is going on, the signal is green, but he need to cross the road, right? He need to cross the road. So he will press the pedestrian button. And once he press this pedestrian button, these, the signal should be red. Okay, it should become red immediately. Okay, so it should become red, irrespective of what state it is in the right now. Okay, so for that reason, how can you write it? So now, if you start imagining the logic and doing all those stuff, it will take a lot of time for you. Okay, you can do it. Right now, you are having that knowledge that you can write this code by yourself. But if you want AI to write the code for you, you can use this particular block of prompt, okay, where write a non-blocking state machine of traffic light, okay, where the components are red 2, yellow 3, green is 4, and 5 is the button. Okay. The normal cycle is green for 5 seconds as what we have anticipated. This is an automated uh, you know um, traffic signal. So you have seen the traffic signal, that road red crossings. So those are automatic. So it has been pre-programmed that for 30 seconds it will be red. For 1 minute it will be green. For 10 seconds it will be yellow. Right. So such that it has been programmed. So in the real life. Okay. So right now it's also programmed such that it will be green for 5 seconds, and then it will be two for yellow, yellow 2 seconds, and then it will again become red for 5 seconds. Okay. And this cycle goes on. Now I will include a constraint millisecond for timing, not delay. Okay. For timing means what? I have mentioned it's for timing, not for delay. Why? So for timing means the moment I'm pressing the push button, it should be in millisecond, right? Clicked on it. That's it. It will be in millisecond. The moment it's clicks for millisecond, if it has been pressed, interpret the button is pressed. And if the button is pressed, then force state to yellow for 1 second and then red immediately. Means what? This is the normal cycle, right? It will be green for 5 seconds, yellow for 2 seconds, and then it will be red for 5 seconds. Okay. But the moment I press this button or a pedestrian press this button, what will happen? It will force state. It will forcefully make the state into yellow for 1 second, no matter where it is right now. Okay, maybe this is for 5 seconds, right? It will just 2 seconds only, and then the user or the pedestrian has clicked this button. What will happen? It will forcefully make the state yellow for 1 second and red immediately. Okay, it will make red immediately. So this is where we can use our prompting in order to get a proper code for our project. So definitely you may think that these are very simple. If I write just simple code, if I just give zero prompting also, it will give me the code. That's true. But the thing is, it's a very simple project. If you go towards building more complex projects in robotics, for example, you are building a robotic arm. On that case, if you just use zero prompting, you will never get a proper course. Okay, I hope it's clear. And I hope you have understood the concept. If you haven't, you can rewatch the video or the part where you have didn't understand it properly, or you can just drop a comment down below. I will check and I will reply definitely. All right. So what is the things which you have to always make sure? So although we can rely on codes, but the hardware is something which we have to do it by ourselves. So while building a project with the help of Google, Gemini, or you know, Perplexity or any of the AI tools, you must first ensure that you are having registers connected LED always, right? And the pins, you have to assign the pins. So don't let the AI assign the pins. You should always assign the pins. Like this pin number will be for this particular output pin or input pin. Okay. Then the logic loop, right? So always check the blocking code. Okay. If the AI use delay of 10,000, it will means 10 seconds. So your button won't work for 10 seconds, right? So you have to make sure the logic is giving correct. Always best practice is always just go through the code which you have generated through AI. So whether the code is correct or not, you just check it by yourself. That's a good practice you should do. All right, guys. So now here is a challenge for you. Okay. So the challenge is smart night light. So we know how to interface our light dependent resistors, right? So your challenge is to write a code and then execute it and draw the connections in the workflow. And uh, you just have to. The task is you have to build a LED system using the sensor uh, of our what? Our light dependent resistor, right? LDR sensor. So that LDR sensor, we know it gives us the analog output of 0 to 1023 range, right? So use the prompt such that it will give you, for example, you can use the few shot or whatever technique you want, and write the code such that the LDR threshold will be 300. Whenever LDR threshold is less than 300, means it's getting darker, then the LED should turn off. And whenever the LDR sensor value is greater than 300, the LED should turn off. Okay, so it will be a basic automatically room light system. So whenever the room is darker or the sunlight is gone, the LED should turn on by itself. And whenever there is more light or sunrise or there is sun present, then the LED should turn off. Okay, in order to save the electricity. Okay, so it's also a good project, guys. I want each and one of you to work on it. Final assessment will be having this particular project. So make sure you do this project, write the code or generate the code using few short prompting or any of the prompting you want, and then use that code and create your uh, circuit with workfree, and you can upload that. So for today's session, there is no assessment, but this week assessment will be given to you at the end of the other lecture. That is the last lecture. So on the last lecture, you will be giving the final assessment together this concept of AI prompting and to the the next session's concept will be all together and you will be having the final assessment. Okay. So there, this question will be there. And so try to work on it where the LDR sensor will be working to automate the room light. Okay. Got it? I hope it's clear about the challenge. Amazing, guys. So that's all for today's session. And this is the summary what we have talked, right? So if there is any question, just drop it down in the comment section and let me know. I will definitely reply to it. Okay, so this is about our today's sensor guys session. So in our today's session, we have talked about few methods of prompt engineering and how to use AI tools in order to generate our codes for robotics or Arduino projects. Okay, thank you so much, guys. See you in the next session. All right, stay tuned, stay happy. Bye bye.